Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu quiosco.
Well, hello, thank you so much for this interview. I'm Jesus from ACCIÓN Cine magazine in Spain.
Nice to meet
First
you.
of all, congratulations for the show. It's an amazing police TV show. It's something, I feel it's the best Alex Cross adaptation that you've done so
Thank
far.
you.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
really eager to watch season 2, but let me ask you first, what did both of you attract you from this character? From the writing perspective and also from the, of course, from the main character being the actor that plays the main character. What drew you to this character that has 30 years of novels?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll start from the writer's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that, you know, I've always been a fan. I was a fan of the movies. I had not read the books until I was approached about potentially adapting this for television. But when I did read the books, I realized there were a lot of things that had never made it to screen. And I think it's because movies just have a limited amount of time. And I knew that we would have a wonderful opportunity to do not only deliver a great thriller if we did this in a television platform, but we'd have more time to dig into the character. And in the books, you get a bigger sense of who Alex Cross is as a person and the relationships that he has, including with his family and with his community, and most of all with John Sampson. And so that really made me excited about doing this for television. But I knew then that we had to create an updated version of Alex Cross, and I knew that there were certain things that had to be part of that. And for me, the biggest thing was I wanted to bring some more specificity and authenticity to who he was as a Black man. Mm-hmm. And I also wanted to bring more of examples of his physicality and his charisma and honestly, even his sexiness. You know, him having, you know, relationships in the books, you haven't seen that before. I felt like those were all really fascinating components that we could add to the character and combine it with this genius intellect and this ability to dismantle the minds of these psychopaths. And so that was the combination that we were trying to get with this new version of Alex Cross and get that onto the page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for me, honestly, what drew me to this it wasn't just the idea of Alex Cross, it was the show in general, because what I saw was an evolution of what we know crime thriller to be, right? Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was a really cool opportunity to be a part of. Didn't matter in what capacity, I just want to be a part of it because I know that the way people are going to take this show, it's going to change the standard for how they think about detective shows, for how they think about crime thrillers, what they get to experience, who they get to follow on their journey, things like that. And as far as Cross himself, this is just honestly definitively one of the coolest characters in terms of how he moves, how he thinks, what he does, and then the notion of his moral compass. When he makes a mistake or he messes something up, he's going to do the best he can to right that wrong. And to be able to see somebody go through that journey unabashedly is refreshing for me because it takes more strength to acknowledge your wrongs and try to apologize and correct it than it is to deny it and walk away. So there are a lot of facets of the character that I quite admire and that I think would be, you know, really palatable for the audience in a way that they haven't seen in a long time.
How about playing and writing a character that is at the beginning of the show is almost broken? Yeah. There is a character that is a genius. He is a physical presence. He is admired. He's loved, but he's also broken. He's still broken inside for that huge loss in his life. He doesn't allow others to get close to him, even physically, as we see in the show. So how he's been writing that and playing that, because it feels like a real character that is not easy to find in this kind of shows.
But that's exactly the draw is the fact that he is a real character. I keep saying he's not a caricature. He's, you know, a whole 360-degree, full-fledged human being because he has all those layers and those notes. And as an actor, that's what you want. You want to get a job where you actually get an opportunity to do the work. You don't want to stay in one lane. You want to play in the whole playground because there are so many facets to who we are as people, so many complexities that make up who we are, what we do, and why we do it. The point of being a creative in this space is to sort of expose and celebrate all those things. So for me, from an acting opportunity perspective, this is huge because there's so many different places I can go. I'm never going to get bored. The potential is massive to really flesh out who and what this man actually is by going on the journey of what he's been through with him.
And I think that makes him more relatable. I think that makes him, you know, you always have a danger if you have such a dynamic, heroic character, is that you can fall into a trap where people who watch the show, they admire this character, but they don't relate to him or her. And in this case, we get to see someone who is struggling with a lot of the same issues that real people struggle with. He has flaws and he has traumas and he has challenges he needs to overcome. And those things are relatable. And so if you relate, then you invest and you start to root for them. And I think that's one of the things we've seen with this show is that folks have really leaned into this character journey as much as they have to the thriller.
Something that I really love about the show also, one of the many things I love about the show is that it doesn't hide from issues we have these days, racial issues, the problems, the distrust problems between the community and cops. How was that to play black cop in this America in these days with that trust issues? It's something amazing and something that really compels the audience.
Man, for me, it was awesome because, you know, I lived this life, about that life. You know, this is not something that I've been able to avoid in my own personal life, right? It's right in our face. I've been dealing with this. I believe the earliest I can remember as far as my first interaction with police where it was negative and unfair, I was probably 8 years old, right? Which is all too common for a lot of young Black children in this country. And for a subject matter like this, sometimes it's not so much what the message is that you're trying to deliver, it's how you deliver the message, right? You need the right person to help you navigate that conversation. And luckily, you know, with Ben and his experience and the way he goes about it, he's the right leader to help navigate the audience through what this conversation is in a way where they can understand the duality of all sides of the argument and put into our mouths from our lived experience that's insurmountable quality that you cannot fabricate, right? You have to live it, which is what also makes him the best person for this particular job. He's the first Black person to helm a narrative for Alex Cross, and where that value comes in so many different ways is when you're talking about here and now, and our job is to be honest and true about what is happening, but also not alienate anybody in an audience, not dictate to anybody, just explain and give them something entertaining that they can digest in their own time. You need somebody who understands how to, you know, avoid the bombs, but also still take you to the battlefield so you can figure out, hey, which fight is my fight? And he just knows how to get you there, and he did so seamlessly because we do have a responsibility to be honest about what's happening because we live this in our daily lives when we go home.
Yeah, I think it's the reality, and I think that from a storyteller's perspective, you know, I got advice early in my career that when there's something controversial, if you consider yourself an artist, you don't avoid it, you lean into it. And so to tell this story and the tension between law enforcement and the Black community is really just a part of the fabric of our society. So if we tell a story about a Black cop, a detective, and tiptoe around that aspect, then the audience is going to know we're lying from the get. I figure, hey, you know, that's a reality. It's the same thing. If it's hot outside, people sweat. And so, you know, if you're a cop and you're also from the Black community, there are some contradictions that are just baked in there. And we should just address it the same way. It's organic and it's built into the fabric of our story, and it's talked about through the perspectives of our characters in honest ways. So you can have a nuanced conversation instead of just preaching or being a polarized argument.
Right.
Thank you so much again. Congratulations. I'm a huge Leverage fan, so it's an honor to be here. I hope to see you in season 3 there too. So thank you so much and congratulations.
I might pop up. You never know. You know.
Thank you.
We are hoping you might pop up. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu quiosco.